I feel like someone's watching. Yeah, hey, hey. It's not just once, it's often. Yeah, so close, I feel you on me. Oh, you're not nice, you're rude, get off me. I shouldn't have to say that. Baby, you should find your way back. Do you think that this is payback? If you hate me, then just say that. But instead, you keep me on my toes, like I'm in my heels, blowing up my phone. Can you pay my bills? Done with all this back and forth, just tell me what's the deal. Now I'm in my feelings, tell me, did you get your fill? Yeah, you keep me on my toes, like I'm in my heels, blowing up my phone. Can you pay my bills? Done with all this back and forth, just tell me what's the deal. Now I'm in my feelings, tell me, did you get your fill? Play with my emotions, felt alive. Long as you was there, I was fine. Come to find you don't waste the time going through the motions, telling lies. Now you think you're ready, but I'm fine. Was it real? You gave up the appeal. Don't wanna hear you speak. I know that you be missing my mystique. Don't you say my name, cause you're still playing games. I wanted you to change, but instead you keep me on my toes, like I'm in my heels, blowing up my phone. Can you pay my bills? Done with all this back and forth, just tell me what's the deal. Now I'm in my feelings, tell me, did you get your fill? Yeah, you keep me on my toes, like I'm in my heels, blowing up my phone. Can you pay my bills? Done with all this back and forth, just tell me what's the deal. Now I'm in my feelings, tell me, did you get your fill? Oh, yeah. Just tell me what's the deal.
Welcome back to this episode of I Took the Risk. I'm your host, Corey Bishop, and here we have Janel. She's a singer, songwriter. So, tell us who Janel is.
That's a very broad question. I am 23 years old. I am a singer, songwriter, performer. I'm originally from Hamilton, New Jersey, but I've lived in Langhorne, Pennsylvania for majority of my life now. And yeah, I'm a musician.
Okay. Do you have any siblings? How's they when you go to Thanksgiving? Is it like sibling competition, sibling rivalry? What's that about?
Yeah, I have an older and a younger brother.
Okay.
And it's not sibling rivalry as much as we butt heads a lot.
Okay.
So both my brothers are in combat sports.
Oh.
So I know not to test their patience, but like I do it, and it's wild. My household is chaotic.
Right.
It's very chaotic. Yeah. But yeah, I love. There's no sibling rivalry.
Okay.
Ever. I'm the middle child, but there's no favoritism or anything. So we're all equal.
So how did you get into music?
So originally I was a dancer.
Okay.
And when we moved to Pennsylvania, my parents couldn't afford dance lessons anymore. It was too expensive. So choir was required at an elementary school, which wasn't in Jersey. And I got jealous when this one girl kept getting all the solos. So I was just like, I want to try out.
Okay.
And I tried out and I got a solo. And then I was like, oh, I can sing. So I just kept singing. I just liked it. And I just stuck with it. I was a choir kid and I've just been singing my whole life.
Okay. So I noticed that like a lot of singers start off like with a choir, or it's never just like, oh, well, I sing in the shower, or like I have a whole car concert and I'm about to just go try out to sing. So like with that, is it where other people listening to you like, all right, yeah, I know you can sing, so why don't you try out? Like, were they giving you that confidence?
No, it was really all just my choice.
Okay.
I never was comfortable singing around my parents or doing anything in front of them until like late in high school. So it was either I went for it myself or I didn't. Okay. So yeah, I just auditioned for solos in choir. When I went to middle school, they had a thing called select choir, where it was like select people, you go to competitions. I was like one of two people who got in that year. Never any formal training, so I was like, okay, maybe this is something I could stick with, and I really enjoyed it.
Okay, that's cool. Also, with you having a dancing background, has that helped you perform or sing in front of group like larger group of people? Like, do you just not like your confidence is just through the roof because you've already had that background knowledge of dancing in front of people?
It definitely helps. So I was a professional dancer for like 7 years. But I was always in musicals. I was getting lead roles in musicals in high school. It always required dancing and everything. So I feel like just me being on stage since I was like before I could walk, it's been my thing just to be a performer. So the most comfortable place for me is to be on stage.
Okay. So if you could start your music career completely over with the knowledge you know now, what would you do? Or what would you have done differently? Or would you keep it the same?
It frustrates me, but I would keep it the same.
Okay.
Because sometimes I'm just like, oh, why did I go to college? Why did I do all these things? But if I didn't go to college, I would have never known that I was a songwriter. And would have never created this music, would never have my band, would have never been doing any of this stuff. I wouldn't be here. So everything is for a reason, even if I get angry, because I don't know what the reason is. But I wouldn't change anything if I did anything over.
Okay. So with that being said, who or what has influenced you to start music?
So in 6th grade, like I said, we auditioned for select choir, and I had my choir teacher his name was Mr. Lee, and he was my teacher all of middle school, and then moved up and took a teaching role in the high school. So he was my teacher for 7 years, and he showed me that like I'm a real musician and that this is something to strive for, like that I'm a musician. But if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have the confidence to go for roles or audition for things. So he got me into music.
Shout out to Mr. Lee.
Definitely.
Just blessed us with that tiny desk. He's a good man for that.
He is.
So, what's your writing process like? I know we talked about it a little bit off camera, but could you just share with our guests, our viewers?
So it varies. Sometimes I could be out in public, and that's the worst thing, where I'm away from a piano and I hear a whole song in my head. And I'm like, oh my God, I got a voice memo this, and just rush home wherever I am so I can figure it out. And I have to keep it on repeat. But most of the time, I'm at the piano and I come up with the melody, lyrics, and chords at the same time. So I usually come up with the chord progression. And then if I'm like 3-4 chords in, before I continue to further that, I start coming up with some kind of a melody to fit into that. But whatever I write, I can only write the first verse, pre-chorus, and the hook, and then I have to stop, because I could finish the song, but it sound like a run-on sentence. So I usually give it a week, and then I go back and I have a whole new second verse that gives a whole change up to the feel of the song. It's not tired. But yeah, it probably takes me a couple weeks to write one song.
See, now I only hear the finished product, so I don't understand what goes into it. I know it's a lot of work, but like my thought process, like you can just go into the studio or get your notebook and just get the going.
I can, yeah. Okay. So I write at a studio in North Philly. So it's called Breed Studios, and I know how to write 2 beats. Like if someone gives me a beat, I can write to that. But I feel like there's more freedom for me to explore my voice vocally and my melodic choices if it's just piano.
Okay.
Because I'm not bound to a beat. I'm not bound to a pattern. There's no BPM, nothing. I can just freely work.
Okay.
And then I can go to the studio and present my idea. So I feel more free if I'm at the piano first.
So tell us about your self-titled EP that you just released. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
What was the process like going into going into the studio?
So I have 2 tracks on there that were singles previously, Late Night Plus One. So Plus One I recorded 2019 when I was still at school in University of the Arts. But I didn't put out until quarantine in May of 2020. Yeah. And then Late Night, I put out in I think November of 2021.
Okay.
So those two were already recorded. I hadn't recorded anything in my EP, but I talked to my producer Benny Hennessy and asked him like, can we do 3 songs and make this a project? It's very simple. He's so easy to work with, and that's why I love working with him, because I'm really fast. I'm really quick. I come with ideas quick, and I want to just keep moving and moving before I forget what I think of. And he works so quickly. It's insane. Like, I don't know what he's doing. I know how to use software, but how fast he's moving, I don't know what he's doing. So I come with the demo, so it's just piano and vocals. I send him a voice memo, and I go to the studio, I play all the keys, and then I tell him what kind of beat I want. And then we just do the process from there. I might get my guitarist to come in and do some certain things, but it takes a couple of weeks for us to record a song.
Okay.
Yeah.
A couple weeks. I'm still trying to get on the timeline of.
A couple weeks is 2 sessions. So I'll do 1 session, go home, think about what harmonies I want to do, what spaces I want to fill. Then I come back, record the next thing, and then if we have to get another guitarist, that winds up being another session. But it takes just 2 sessions for us to record a song. We work really well together.
Cool. That's a interesting name. You said Benny?
Benny Hennessy.
Is that like his legit, like...
That's his producer name.
Oh, okay. I was about to say,
so he's also an artist, and he's super talented.
Nice.
Super talented.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta be, if your producer name is Hennessy. Gotta be. So what does success look like to you as a musician?
As a musician, success is someone listening to my work and saying that it helped them in some way. When I released my first single, I wasn't expecting like anything big. Like, it's my first song. I just wanted to put it out so I had something that I could promote and show people for myself. But I had a few messages of people, some people that I briefly knew from school, saying that it felt like I was writing about their experience and they really connected with it. And it just, it made me feel so good that what I went through, someone else also went through.
Absolutely.
Because I wrote about it because I had no one to talk to about it. And so the fact that this is an outlet for them to listen to this and feel as if someone else hears them and is going through the same thing makes me feel good. So it doesn't have to be millions of people. As long as I'm touching someone, that someone else knows that I've gone through what they're going through. That's success to me.
I think that's good because music has the ability to do a lot of things for a lot of people, whether you can sing, whether you can't sing, whether you can write, whether you just like to listen to it, as the ability to heal. I think that's good that you see that and people have reached out to you and letting you know that your music has touched them. Yeah,
music is super therapeutic. My mother is not the best singer at all by any means. And she puts her heart and soul in it, but it releases endorphins. It's very therapeutic. It's a natural thing. It's a natural reaction. Like, when I feel a certain way, I want to sing about it. Like, I want to sing. I want to let it out. You don't have to be a singer to sing. It's a natural thing. So I feel better when I sing. If I'm feeling sad, I just go in my basement, set up my mic, and I sing for a couple hours, and I feel good. So music is a natural thing, and it's available to everyone. Just because you're not a singer doesn't mean you can't sing.
Shoot, that's right. Because, listen, I'll be having all types of car concerts, shower, man. Whoo, I'll be getting it in.
Everyone says that. I don't sing in the shower.
What?
Ever. So
I'm trying to tell you.
I never sing in the shower.
It's the acoustics. It
depends. I guess my shower doesn't have the most amazing acoustics.
I'm trying to tell you. It make you feel like you're really on stage somewhere. I'm trying to tell you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. So, I think you're going to like this question.
I'm scared.
No. I think you're going to like it. If you could perform with one singer, dead or alive, who would it be?
Amy Winehouse.
Why?
She's the reason why I'm a songwriter.
Okay.
And her music made me like my voice.
Oh, really?
So I've been a singer for so long, but I've been in choir. So I've never had to actually pay attention to my own voice. And then when I came to University of the Arts, I was a solo singer, and I didn't like my voice. I didn't like the way it sounded. I wasn't used to it. My whole life, I was just listening to other people and worried about blending. So now I had the time to stand out, and I wasn't with it. But my sophomore year, we had a concert, and I sang the song called "Take the Box" by Amy Winehouse.
Okay.
And it's a jazz song, and when I did a recording of it, and then I heard it back at the end of the performance, I was like, I've never made that face when I've ever performed. And that was the first time I did it. I was like, I like the way I sound, and I want to listen to myself. And just hearing the way that she only would write about personal experiences and very personal is how I write.
Got you.
I write only about what I go through. So she's the whole reason why I'm a songwriter and why I like the way I sing.
Shout out to Amy Winehouse.
Oh, rest in peace.
R.I.P. So, with music being a high profile industry and a very tedious industry and I don't want to say who you know industry, but an industry that, you know, if you may not always know the right people, you may not get the proper due that you deserve. What advice would you have for any musicians that are up and coming in the industry that you would like to share?
If you don't, there's a couple things. So, especially coming to Philadelphia, I stayed here for 4 years for school. The music scene in Philly is either really like alternative or jazz. Or rap. There's like no in between. I make pop music. So it was really hard for me to find a venue that fit my genre. If you don't find a lane that fits you, you literally need to create it. Raise money, book a place, get a band yourself, book rehearsals. There was not one venue that I could find that fit me, and then there was one, and it was Green Soul. They're not there anymore, but it was on Mount Vernon Street next to South Jazz Kitchen. And all I did was prepare for a long time, and people want opportunity, but they're never ready when it comes their way.
Ooh, so I like that.
I sing hours a day, every single day, because I know this is what I want to do, and if I get my one shot, and I could be anywhere at CVS, and if L.A. Reid walked in, I'd be ready, because all I'm doing is preparing for the moment that I don't know when it's going to come. But constantly prepare, even if while you're preparing, you don't know why. Constantly prepare, make your own lane, and just like what you're doing. If you like what you make, there is at least one person who likes it, who will like it too. So, yeah, that's really my advice.
Okay. Oh, thank you for that. That you said something very key, and I hope that they paid attention to that. But before we go, could you just let our viewers know where they can find you at on the social media platforms? Yes.
So, again, I'm Janel. You could find me on all social medias at @THE_Janel, JANEL, @the_Janel. You can find me on all streaming services, JANEL. My debut self-titled EP dropped the 29th of October. And please check me out. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's been a blast having you come and do your performance here and the interview. Thank you, and I definitely will be tuning in to the next EP, next album, or whatever it is that you have coming out.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.